Hey Voyagers, last on Detect Your Favorite Robot American here, and I'm just taking a brief pause from writing and doing a little bit of household cleaning to talk about something I've seen pop up in a couple of circles that I'm familiar with. So I've been seeing a lot of this perspective around generative AI being thrown around where folks are saying that they don't like it, but they also believe that it's inevitable. And I want to take just a little moment to push back on this. Recently, a content creator I follow, Aztec Cross, in one of his videos, asked a question pretty early on after talking about the whole thing with the Larian CEO coming out about their usage of generative AI in their studio for the next game, Divinity, which technically they say they're not using, but they're also implementing. So, yeah, I don't buy it for a second. You don't come out and say, yeah, we're using generative AI, but not in our next big game. He asked this question early on: can AI be stopped? And I think that's a topic that I've seen echo over and over again in my circles. This despair, even if you don't like the technology, that it's inevitable somehow. The truth of the matter is the question isn't can it be stopped? It's how can we stop it? The truth is that these markets, these companies respond when consumers know they're not being served, and they make it clear. And generative AI does not serve us. Everyone out there should know that by now. That it's only there to serve CEOs and boards of investors who can't see beyond the next fiscal quarter, and they'd push a kid into traffic if it meant they would get their lunch money when they died. So while we're pretending this is some kind of one-way street, that oh, the reason we can't go back is because they've already implemented so much of it. It's everywhere. It's in all of our stuff. What'll we do? Guys, it's not a one-way street. These companies are the same ones that are obsessing over nostalgia and retro stuff, that are releasing things in vaporwave colors and pumping out videos that are intentionally fuzzy around the edges like old camcorders, precisely because they know that you in fact can go back. That in fact this stuff is not inevitable, it's a decision that can be rolled back. These companies are pushing this tech into the space in the same way that they tried to push crypto into everything. They tried to push cameras onto video game consoles. Do you all remember the Kinect? They try to push shitty 3D helmets into workspaces with things like Metaverse. And I'm not at Walmart right now paying for the latest Kinect with Ethereum that I'm accessing through the Metaverse. It's not inevitable. A bad idea is a bad idea. And it's just in shitification these corpos have dressed up as inevitability. And they're selling that inevitability really hard because it's not real. It's really just a bubble. They're not sure if this will all pan out for them. So they're all trying to get their slice of the cake while they still can. And, regardless of the actual value of what they make, they don't give a shit. It's another speculative tech rush, another .com bubble. But this one boils away our oceans and lakes and destroys rural towns in Georgia. Right? So think about it. Why are all these companies so gung-ho about using this tech? But then, when pressured by consumers and reporters and people who are holding them to task, they go, oh, well, we didn't use it that much in any way. We're just using it for, Photoshop. We're just using it for, concept art. We're not even using it in the final pieces. Larian even went so far as to say, we're just using it for PowerPoint. Really? Fucking PowerPoint. That's shame. That's shame. And they wouldn't be downplaying this shit constantly if there was a good use case for it, right? Think about it. They've slapped ray tracing and 60 frames per second on everything, including shit that it makes no sense to put it on. I don't need ray tracing on a fucking pixel game. And in fact, actually, a lot of games are better served at lower resolution because they were designed for that with pixel format. Likewise, ray tracing and pore stretching and all that, let's be real, some of the most fantastic games of the year have none of that. They don't need it. I don't play Helldivers 2 because, oh man, I can see every detail of the Liberty on my guy's boots. No, I'm playing it because it's a fucking great game. People aren't out there playing Silk Song because they can see every single like scale on the butt of the carapace of the main character. They're playing it because it's a compelling, beautiful game made by good artists with a lot of effort and love placed into it. That's why those games are doing so well. And it's why games like Black Ops 7 are just pure Gen AI garbage. They don't want to admit they're using this technology. They just want to profit off of it. So in the meantime, they make it our fucking problem. And they do so by saying they're using the tech, but not saying what they're using it on. By committing wholeheartedly and throwing crazy amounts of money behind the technology, but it's handled with care because it's pure poison to their brand. And the average consumer knows it. We can spot when generative AI is being used, and even when we can't, we know something is off, whether it's because it's uncanny or just crappy quality. Like, of the games I can think of immediately off the top of my head that have used it, again, Black Ops 7, straight garbage, all the way through, top to bottom. It's generative AI crap. The script is generative AI, the cutscenes are generative AI. I'm willing to bet that they got some ideas for the guns from generative AI, because no sane person would have brought back a hit-scan see-through walls rifle in the modern FPS space like they did, and think it would have been a good idea for balance. Absolutely insane shit. Every part of that game, even the plot, is nonsensical to the point of being non-canonical, because they literally have contradictory things in the game compared to their last games. So it's very clearly pure garbage from top to bottom. Like, games that are actually doing pretty good, like Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders, the generative AI parts they use, that shit's the worst part of the game. I'm not talking about the machine learning that they use to make the machines walk. That isn't actually generative AI. It's the same sort of stuff that DARPA was using to make rovers learn how to walk in the fucking, 70s and 80s. It's not new. Now, I guess it's technically 80s and early 90s, but point is, that technology's not new, and it isn't stealing from every single human being on Earth, right? That technology is literally just, hey, walk, and the machine implements thousands of different variations, and it basically evolves a way of doing it. That's not bad. That's fine. I actually think that's charming in this particular space. Generative AI is built off of huge walls of prompts and huge amounts of data, almost inevitably all stolen, are built on an algorithm that's built off of a stolen data set, and then they tell it to basically make a lovely puree of all that and serve it up to me. So, as a result, in Arc Raiders, the voices they use in order to do, the Raiders' voices, those are generatively AI. And they're the worst performances in the game. They also do the same thing, I think, for the vendors, as I recall. I think they do it for the vendors. So it's, it's not good. Honestly, just get a couple of interns in there with a microphone. Have at it. Pay a couple of good voice actors. Look at all the incredible voice work in Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 has 4 main character voices, a single voice for the Democracy Officer, and a couple of background voices that are used. You have Pelican, you have Eagle, and you have a couple other folks on there. Look what they've managed to do with a couple of really well-implemented voice options. And anyone who's played Helldivers 2, we're not hurting for voice chat. We're not hurting for voice communication. I have played with folks in Helldivers 2 who have no mic, and entirely through the pre-recorded game lines convey exactly what I fucking need to know in short amounts of time. I don't necessarily need a generative AI voice to text-to-speech for me every little fucking detail that's in the game. I don't need them to say, you need to go towards the blue bunker. I don't need that. Just go here, ping on fucking screen. There you go. I fucking saved you so much money, and I probably saved several thousand gallons of water for that company. So even Arc Raiders, with its generative AI, the generative AI is the low point of the game. Claire Obscure, recently even, had used generative AI in its concept art. And they left some of it in, because anyone who actually works in concept art in video games knows, occasionally, sometimes the concept art is so good, or accidentally, it's so good that it gets all the way to the end of the game, or it's left in by accident, because they just never got around to replacing it, it just stays in as an asset. Which is a problem when everything is generatively AI. It means that one, all your art is going to be reductive, and some of it is. And it also means that at any point in time, you have to go through the whole damn thing and redesign it from the top to bottom, legally. Because if you don't, well, that's just a fucking theft item right there. So, as a general rule, Gen AI just creates reductive, lame-ass bullshit that actual artists and creators need to go over and at very least polish, at very, worst, just remake completely. And all that shit is just theft in the first place. It all comes from this idea that we need AAA, quadruple A, the inevitable quintuple A games, when in reality, that shit's just for the C-suite. Like, all those buzzwords they love dropping, ray tracing, 60 frames per second, generative AI made, all these things are for the investors who are so investor-pilled they don't realize that's not actually a thing we need or want, right? I don't want my next video game to be made by a robot. I want it to be made by people that give a damn. And I will spend my money as I see fit to do so. That's why I started playing Warframe recently, for fuck's sake. I'm doing it because the guys at Digital Extremes treat their crew well and invest in their community immensely. I didn't even like the initial design aesthetic of Warframe, but in the years since it's been released, I've gotten to appreciate it a bit. It's got a significantly good appeal because it's a vision of actual fucking people. Because people actually make that. So, I also want to push back on the idea that these generative AI tools are being used as tools, but they're not tools. Generative AI isn't a tool, it's a weapon. It's specifically a weapon aimed at its workforce. A tool doesn't replace you at your job. It makes your job easier. It makes your job better. It makes your labor more valuable if you master it. But generative AI is designed to supplant you. You can get a shit job paid less to feed a machine that will inevitably take your job. And if you doubt that, ask all the cashiers who spend their time manning those electronic cashiers. Those electronic cash registers can pump 12 people through a line with one person standing there. But that one person's gonna be fucking miserable the whole time while those machines get better. Ask every artist who's been kicked out of their field because they don't want to be paid because they're not being paid for their labor. These companies don't want concept artists anymore. They don't want, folks who do little doodads or environmental art. These are jobs. Artists do that shit. They've done that shit. When they say, oh, we just used it to do concept art, that's an entire fucking job class, concept artist. That they just don't want to hire them anymore. So yes, it is absolutely being used to remove art and remove artists from their field. And that's not even getting into coding and programming, which any programmer out there knows, even made by the best team, spaghetti code inevitably happens. Well, what happens when the code is made entirely in a black box, and it's just infinitely spaghetti coding itself? Right? That's when you get cascading failures and shit that's just faulty and glitchy and garbage. I could go on. I'm not gonna. I'm already at 13 minutes. Let's speed this shit up. So, at the end of the day, the reason these things aren't tools, the reason these things are being implemented the way they are, the reason they're flooding the space is simple. These CEOs are garbage. It's not naive to call a spade, right? This shit isn't the next Photoshop for artists. It isn't the next Da Vinci for video recorders. This shit is designed to replace us. This isn't a loom. This is a steam engine in a textile factory in the British Empire. It's not made to make your job easier. It's made to obliterate your job and remove you from the work that you do. That's its sole purpose. Corporations have reached the point where the only way they can make more money is to completely cut workers out and to be able to create things for nothing, which is impossible to do with actual humans because actual labor takes fucking money, time, and creativity. But if they can make a machine, their generative AI tool, that they can basically treat like a wage slave Only they don't have to give it a wage. They just need to give it enough electricity to keep it running, and they never worry about it unionizing or demanding rights. They don't care. They'll gladly build the perfect theft machine to displace all of us in this field. In every field. That's the whole push for generative AI. Why else would you make a machine to do everything that can do everything if your goal wasn't to force it to do everything? What's left for us when a machine is designed that can do all of our jobs just shitty enough for these CEOs to feel good about themselves, assuming they even get there, which I think saying they'll achieve general AI, kind of idiotic. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think what is going to happen is they're going to make enough of this technology where it bursts the bubble and destroys our whole economy, and we're the ones who pay for their fucking hubris. So why did I make this video? Why am I rambling on? Easy. Because again, there's shit we can do. I go back to Aztec Cross again, asking, can it be stopped? Yes, it fucking can. This shit isn't inevitable. We're just sold on its inevitability. That's not reality. That's a marketing pitch. And doesn't have to be. The idea that, oh, well, we have to deal with it, it's everywhere. Bullshit. Guys, Mark Zuckerberg poured billions into Metaverse. And no one's fucking using it, even though he literally rammed it into every aspect of the world's largest social media network at the time. And it still did nothing. Xbox rammed a Kinect down every Xbox owner's throat for an entire generation of consoles. And I don't see a fucking Kinect on top of my current Xbox. Or any others that they're ever gonna make again. At best, it's a little peripheral they might sell on the side, which will then almost inevitably be replaced by an actual webcam that you can just buy for like fucking nothing. They tried that with crypto. They wanted to make everyone use crypto. Everyone was going to have a crypto wallet. Banks were going to have crypto wallets for you. Everyone was going to trade in this shit. Nowadays, it's not really used by anybody except weird speculative types and banks who are engaging in speculative trading. But the average person does not have a crypto wallet. That shit's ludicrous to expect. And if that's how we treat this new AI tech, if we make it clear we think this is as dumb an idea as it really is, we make it fucking obvious that this shit needs to go back in the box, it goes back in the box. It'll go right in the landfills, right next to the old Atari ET game, right next to Metaverse helmets, right next to crypto and Final Fantasy, right next to holding work meetings in the Metaverse. It'll be buried right the fuck there. And it'll stay there, along with all the other embarrassing ideas that all these tech bro futurist types have always wanted to push, but now want us to forget about desperately, because it makes them look like the idiots they really fucking are. We shouldn't doomer pill ourselves into the idea this shit is inevitable. It's not. It's never inevitable. A bad idea can always be shelved. And this shit's objectively a bad idea. Don't fucking overthink it. I don't want this shit to be everywhere. I want it back in the box. We should want it back in the box. So our two choices are, we put it back in the box by refusing to buy it, by raising Cain every time we see it and stuff, shaming the shit out of companies that use it, pressing them constantly, making it very clear how stupid this technology is and how utterly not what we want it is. That it is just a dumb idea that's costing them an insane amount of money and making our lives fucking miserable. Or we could doomer pill ourselves into thinking that we can't do anything and drown in it. It's our choice. I fucking choose not to drown. So happy holidays, Voyagers. Remember, you are human. You have inherent value. And fuck generative AI, and fuck anyone out there who's trying to sell it to you. Peace.